As a city councilman, to have a campus like that is an asset. It's a way to get kids who want to go to four-year schools the opportunity to go save a lot of money and maybe get into a school they wouldn't normally get into. But two, it's also a great training tool for people that want to advance. I'm very involved at Norco High School and at JFK putting scholarships together. And one of the things that I began to discover is kids in the high school were getting credits going to Norco College. I also began to realize as school got more and more expensive, I teach at UCR in the recreation department, and it's so expensive for kids to go to school. And so I began to become more and more familiar with Norco College and began to realize what a great school it was. And what was funny is I used to say, where are you going to college? And they'd say, oh, just Norco College. And I said, that's great, that's fantastic, that's a great school. The reason I like to be involved, it's funny because I'm just doing what Mom and Dad did. My dad was Man of the Year a whole bunch of times, and my mother was a big mucky muck in Seroptimist and charities and stuff like that. When you're involved, you don't really realize what you're doing until you sort of look back and go, wow, okay. Or somebody else says, wow, look what you did. You're like, well, I was just solving one problem at a time. The best moment of my life was the opening of another thing that floats my boat is veterans. I didn't serve, and we built a memorial in Norco, and we have a wall of honor. And I think that the best moment of my life, and people are always shocked that a little town like Norco did something like that. When we broke ground, we had no money, nothing. We didn't have one penny. And 6 months later, we'd raised around $2 million. And we put together, it's a half acre. There's 23 names on the wall. And it's the George A. Ingalls Veterans Memorial Plaza. And it's got a whole big area with bricks and a seating area. But there's a wall of honor for any Norconian who has served who died in service, was killed in action. And to have, well, I can tell you the best moment of my life. Phil Newhouse grew up in Norco from the 1930s, and he knew Neil Snipes, who's on the wall. Neil Snipes was the first Norconian killed at Tarawa, World War II, first one killed in battle. And Phil was 90, and the day we read his name, the first day the memorial opened, Phil was in a wheelchair and told people, I have to get up, because what we asked is that if you knew them, stand. And he stood, and that I was in tears, and I just thought, because he wanted to remember his friend, and that probably was the best moment. When I got on council, Beth Groves called me in. She says, you want the good news or the bad news? I said, well, give me the good news. She said, well, the good news is there is no good news, it's all bad news, and we might not be able to make payroll. And so it was the downturn of 2009, 2010, and I think back now and I go, boy, if I knew what I knew now, then I most certainly wouldn't have run for council. But you know what? Now we have $11 million in reserve, and we've got all kinds of businesses, and you kind of have to be crazy to do this.
Councilman Bash, your dedication and influence has made a positive impact in our community. Riverside Community College District is proud to honor you with the 2017 Distinguished Public Service Award.